Hello friends, I want to give you a recap of the next design challenge. So what you have in your Canvas module for week 6 is 2 quiz-ish is, and those are going to sort of set the tone for the next assignment, which is a project. So make sure that you get those 2 quiz-ish is done as soon as possible. Those should be done this week, and by this week I mean by October 8th. So get that done. And then the next thing I just kind of want to recap from our class today was that we did an exercise where we had to navigate our house blindfolded or with our eyes closed and then reflect out and share what that experience was like. Then we wanted to kind of bring that mindset to what it would be like to play our favorite board game. And so I used a couple of examples, things like a deck of cards, and how, you know, in terms of a sensory experience, I cannot distinguish between cards, and I also cannot distinguish between the front and the back of cards. So that is one thing that I observed about that. I also observed things like poker pieces, poker chips, I should say, were all the same feeling, but different colors, but maybe they could be different colors and slightly different textures. So I suggested maybe adding some sandpaper to the center of the blue, a piece of soft fabric to the center of the red, and then maybe leaving white as is so that you have 3 unique sensations with each of the pieces in addition to the color, so that we can all play together. Other things I talked about were the board itself being very, very flat, no relief, but fairly easily, in a similar way as Braille, you could raise the bumps on the board in order to experience them and know where things go. We had some students suggest magnets so that on a board pieces would snap into position, and we also had some suggestions for like a raised relief where you have little like designated slots that your piece goes into. Those would all be very useful for navigating, and also things like sound. So if you used a soundboard where it's a capacitive touch sensor, so capacitive tape, similar to what we did in our flashlight project, but instead of the switch being metal, it can also be a capacitive touch. We'll get into that stuff a little bit more later, but there are options there for sound, and that allows you to do things in different languages as well, which is even more accessible. So get your brain thinking. Right now, the challenge of the week is to design 4 game pieces that are unique in their multimodal expressions. So color is one way that things are different, but these are absolutely identical in every other way. They were definitely formed on the same mold. So I want us to think about how we can make 4 different pieces that are all unique and different using the materials in our maker kit. So think about things like cardboard and putting cardboard together in a way to make unique pieces that you can feel that are different, you know, something, and things that are very different, not just a little bit different, are going to be important. So so that's very useful when you're not using your vision. It's good to experience something in a very different way, not a subtle way. The way that I made these, you can see, has a slot at the bottom and a slot at the top in order to allow those to fit together so that they stand up on their own. And I put a little flat bottom on there so that it stands on the table. So everything that you make should stand on its own, and it should be unique in its design. Whether you use cardboard or fuzzy pipe cleaners, these are great because they are so tactile, right? Like they have a very fuzzy tactile experience that is associated with it. But you can use anything that was in your kit and anything in the recycling bin. always available to you. So, and actually I should say, even in addition to that, within cardboard, you can make lots of textures just by cutting things in different ways and texturizing a surface. You can also open cardboard up and see the ribs that are on the inside, and there might be something interesting to explore there. Paper is another great option, and tape. Those are all really good tools to get you started, but be creative. I want to see you guys making 4 different designs for a game piece. That is our challenge. Do this in a physical sketch first, right? And then we're going to model that in Tinkercad. So that will get you up to speed on the scope of this next design challenge. So happy making and good luck.